Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the International Fab Talks. Thank you for bonding with us and connecting with the commoners, the unsung heroes. There are several people with lots of skills and talents that are hidden. They are hidden gems. And today we have a beautiful person with us out here to share her time with us. Guess who she is? Yes, you guessed it right. She is Ms.Priyanka Chatterjee, called as Golpodidi. Am I right, ma'am? Did I get that right?
Yes, Golpodidi, that's right.
Thank you. Golpodidi, my dear friends, apart from that, she's a wonderful human being and she would like to inspire you, empower you, and enrich in your lives. And ask me how, that I'll keep a secret. First, let's invite our special guest now on this beautiful platform. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to this beautiful platform.
Thank you so much. Namaste. And gratitude to International Fab Talks for inviting me over here to share about my journey, Golpodidi's journey.
Thank you, dear. Dear friends, we go ahead and introduce our special celebrity in an official way. Get to know more about her as to what she really has been doing all these years and how she could inspire you, how you could become the next Priyanka Chatterjee, the Golpodidi. Am I right? Am I getting that right, ma'am?
You are getting that right. Absolutely right.
Thank you, dear. Ma'am, I'll go ahead and introduce you in an official way now, dear.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. My dear friends, it's a privilege, a honor, and of course, our duty to go ahead and introduce our special guest and celebrity. She is Priyanka Chatterjee. She's also called as Golpodidi. Now, Golpodidi, I'm going to keep it a secret for everyone. She is from Kolkata, West Bengal, and people from there will understand what I'm trying to say. But the other parts of India and across the world, that's a secret. Ma'am will share that, or maybe you'll get to know as I go through the profile. So Golpodidi is a wonderful person. She is an international story consultant. I think I let it out. An award-winning storyteller, a process drama coach, a design thinker, a career coach. She's completed her MBA and she's a gold medalist, an alumni of the International Institute of Storytelling, Emerson College, UK. She's the artistic director, Arts for Change International, a social impact organization. She's also the founder of Wild Strawberry and director Storytelling Education and Arts India Council, called as SEAIC. With 18 plus years of storytelling experience in Fortune 500 MNCs, leading India Media House and non-for-profits organizations, as you could call them, Golpodidi has touched the lives of many children. It's not 1,000, 2,000, 1 lakh, 5 lakh plus, you could say, more than 5 lakh children. She's been impacting their lives through her storytelling capacity and expertise. Not only children, my dear friends, she's also been reaching out to many of the adults, many people who are just not, living a normal life and just enjoying themselves. She's been giving them that path and making them understand that, yes, the power of storytelling is really wonderful. I'll just let you know how many individuals she's been impacting as adults. The adults here have been impacted 80,000 adults, more than 5 lakh children, and her journey continues. She would love to inspire everyone, no matter who it is. If you come across this particular person, not person anymore, a celebrity, and Golpodidi. She's fondly called with lots of love. People call her Golpodidi. And dear friends, she's been impacting the lives of young children, adults as well, navigating the world with her story bag. She has a beautiful story bag and it's here. And friends, she has made this beautiful journey of hers an inspiring one. So this made her realize what? That Golpodidi realizes that the power to change one's life, the power to change your life is to change with your own story, to change your life with stories. And to get to know more about yourself, we could learn a lot from this beautiful celebrity. Let's see how we are going to develop our lives and improve and enrich in our lives. Hello, ma'am, and thank you for being a part of our world, the International Fab Talks.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And when you were speaking about me, sometimes I was really thinking, oh, is that me? Oh, that part. Okay. Did I do that? So, because all of us have a long journey that we have undertaken. And sometimes it feels like, okay, is that really us? We have accomplished so much. So thank you so much for reminding me of who I am.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being so humble, so polite, and kind. Yes, dear. We forget that we've achieved so much, and that is really the common man. We forget, the everyday life keeps us so busy that we forget what we've achieved and how much of hidden talent we had and we have as well and will have in the future. So here we have a hidden gem. Golpodidi, let's go ahead and interview our special celebrity. Dear ma'am, how would you define yourself? Who is the real Golpodidi? Who is the real Priyanka Chatterjee?
So, Golpodidi, as the name suggests, in Bengali, the land I come from, the land of Bengal, because I speak Bengali, Bangla. Golpo means story, and Didi means sister or lady. So, as the name depicts, it means the story lady. As you have rightly said, I carried my story bag here or maybe here. I don't know, but wherever I am, with whoever I am, I can open my story bag and I can pick out a story from my story repertoire, and there will always be a story for everyone in the room. So that's who Golpodidi is. You can call it my personal branding, but I have seen how, because Golpodidi has a story, so that story has really walked since, I started this personal branding journey. I have seen people remember Golpodidi with each passing day a little more.
Thank you, dear. Thank you for sharing that so nicely. And you've started this beautiful journey of, you say, here, the story bag is here, and maybe even here as well. Yeah. So that makes a difference, yes. And not many would venture into this beautiful journey. There are only a selected few by the universe. And here is one beautiful person the universe has created for us, and she's here with us to share her thoughts, her views, and how she could inspire you, and how you could be the next Golpodidi as well. Am I right, ma'am? Yes.
Yes, true. But at the same time, I don't want anybody else to be Priyanka Chatterjee or to be Golpodidi, because we all have our unique journeys. But surely I would like people to get inspired to become storytellers. Not Golpodidi, but to become storytellers.
Super. That's really nice. To be unique, that's authentic. I love that. I love that spirit. That's really nice. To be authentic, and having your mark, leaving a legacy behind. That's really nice. Dear ma'am, let's go on to the next question, dear. Who inspired you to become Golpodidi? How did you enter into this field? Who inspired you? Now, you're an inspiration. Now, the way you speak, the way you share the stories, the way you create that mental picture for us, we visualize when you speak. So I would like to ask you, what inspired you into this beautiful journey? Or were there anybody in your life that made you follow this passion?
Yeah, not one person, but I would attribute this to many. Since early childhood, my father used to narrate the same story time and again. And strangely, the little Priyanka Chatterjee, she would never get bored by the same story. Even though she has, understood and remembered each word after the other, but still she would love sitting by the side of her father's lap and listen to the same story. So the journey started back then. And I realized something is there in stories because we don't get bored by them. And our eyes open in awe whenever somebody is telling a story. But whenever I entered in my corporate journey, I saw people are, when they're sitting in front of the desk or they are looking at the dull PowerPoint, they're like, okay, what's next? So, the immediate body language changes. You were sitting like this with eyes open, and then you are sitting like this with, uh, okay. So, this shift inspired something inside me, and that asked me to go back to that little Priyanka Chatterjee sitting beside her father's lap and explored that what is the difference between presenting fact and presenting a story. And then entire horizon opened in front of Golpodidi, where she saw that everything around her is nothing but a story. So that's what inspired her, not one person, but everything, everybody, because she started depicting people not as persons, not as animals, not as trees, not as birds, not as houses, but every inanimate and animate object, animate people, inanimate object had their own stories. So that inspired me inspired Golpodidi to get into this journey of storytelling.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing your journey as how you entered into this beautiful field. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being Golpodidi. That's really nice. Dear ma'am, we would like to know about your childhood. Is there any incident that you remember which is very fresh in your mind?
Regarding
naughty
story,
one? Were you the naughty one or the mischievous one, you could say, or the shy and innocent one?
so there is a saying in Bengali that the mischievous child would be the calm and quiet one when they grow up, and the calm and quiet ones will become really mischievous. So, can you guess which one I was in childhood?
I guess
Was
you
I
were
the
the calm one, maybe. Were you the calm one?
Yes, absolutely right. So my mother used to say she would boast that my child, she's so calm, so quiet that even the neighbors, they cannot really guess that there is a child in this particular household because there won't be any cries, yelling, noise, nothing. And my father used to say, we are blessed to have a child who has never ever demanded for a thing, asked for a thing, and would be happy by whatever she gets. But when I grew up, it was, like the chameleon changes its color, I became exactly the opposite. Because perhaps drama and storytelling inspired, the drama queen inside me. And I started speaking out, being so expressive. And so that's quite a transformation from being the calm and quiet one, becoming the mischievous and the naughty and the expressive one.
Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing, ma'am. I would love if you would share, an incident that any particular incident that it's fresh in your mind as a kid, maybe below 10 years, if you still could recollect anything like that.
Sure. So I would like to connect this with my storytelling journey again, a certain topic that I cover in my storytelling. So when I was in going to a school, pre-primary school called Tiny Tots, over there, it's like the Montessori kindergarten, really small kids. And over there, the parents will usually send change of clothes in the bag. And that day, as you have guessed already, that my mother forgot to give me the change of clothes. And like Murphy's Law, Murphy is a very famous gentleman, if you have heard about him, that he talks about all the mishaps and how they are connected with time. It means that if you are standing in the queue in front of the toilet, and there are multiple queues, your queue will be the longest. And then he mentions that how when you want to pee really hard, at that time the queue becomes, or you become the last person in the journey. So like that, following Murphy's Law, the day when my mother forgot to give me the change of clothes, that day I pooped in my pants and my pants got spoiled. That is not the story. The story begins here, that when I was taken to the infirmary for changing clothes, they opened the bag, they searched inside the bag. The entire staff room was busy searching Priyanka Chatterjee's bag, but there was nothing. So, and the child was crying, wailing there because she was ashamed, embarrassed, and awaiting eagerly that when the change of clothes will come. Usually in the pre-primary schools, they usually keep 2 3 changes of clothes. But guess what, as you have already have guessed, I was obese since the childhood. So even though they took out from the cupboard, they took the first change of clothes, tried to fit in, no, the second one didn't fit in, the third one and the last one, and it didn't fit. And then the child started wailing bigger, cried louder, but without any help. She had to sit in her underwear for 2 long hours till her mother came and picked her up. That was, now when I think of this incident, there are twinkles in my eyes. I smile, I laugh thinking about it, but it was not so much laughter and joy back at that time. And that inspired me as a storyteller to be more inclusive, in my storytelling, talking about body shaming, because I remember still at that time when the teachers, they were picking up the change of clothes, the kind of, changing of, they were exchanging glances with each other, they were speaking things that I was not liking about me. So that somewhere, we carry lot of, we are framed inside a box that has been constructed by the society, by all the labels that they have put in. Okay, fat Priyanka Chatterjee, the obese Priyanka Chatterjee, Priyanka Chatterjee who could not fit into the change of clothes. So all these labels actually shuns us down as a human being, and from being limitless human being, we gradually started becoming more limited, more labeled, stuck inside a box. So this particular incident inspired me amongst many others, but this one was very strong, that inspired me to talk about body shaming through my storytelling, talk about inclusivity, talk about equality and equity amongst all human beings. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, so much for sharing. And you opening up today and sharing it with us is really great. Many of us might have experienced the same or something similar like that, where we've been, targeted by our teachers with those side glances. And I would like to share today. At one point of time, maybe I was in the 5th class and I hadn't performed well in the first. We had 2 papers in social studies, paper 1, paper 2. And the previous day, there was something at home. There was some argument between my parents. And that had an impact on my mind. And I didn't study well the previous day. And so when I went the next day and wrote my paper 1, and then I came quickly to prepare. I just gave my paper because I wasn't prepared. So I didn't want to waste my time. I gave my paper to the teacher and I came out and sat down in the hall. And I was preparing for paper 2. At least then I may pass, because both those marks would be clubbed and then the candidate would be, I would pass in that subject. So then there was a teacher who was sitting with another teacher there in that place where I was studying. And I heard them over telling, this girl doesn't study at all. Now, do the teachers ever know that what happened at home? What's the fault is not mine. It's the fault that, the atmosphere at home. So there are teachers who are very judgmental out there. They shouldn't be that. And that damages. Until today, it hurts when I think about, she didn't even know what she's talking, that particular teacher. And when I speak about it, I really get goosebumps again. I get that anger within me. How could she dare ever tell that when the child is innocent? You cannot put the blame on the child. Am I right, ma'am? Yes. So thank you for letting me open out that today with you. Yes. And thankfully, I passed in so that social paper 1 and 2. I passed in that, thankfully. Yes, dear. We go on with the next one. Dear ma'am, we've all faced challenges. All of us do. How do you manage your challenges, the everyday challenges in life?
I think storytelling has helped me in this journey, because of which I got stuck to stories so hard. Because I will tell you, in my life, I wanted to do many things and worked on many projects, but I kept switching, no, this one I don't like, no, this journey I don't like, no, this. And then storytelling came and got me glued to this. The beauty of storytelling is there's always something for someone. Some story will, you know, click, that really resonates with you, that has got healing for you, and that might be cathartic. So while I go through these stories, especially the ones that resonate with me, those somewhere has, I feel, the power of healing and the power of going through the tunnel, even though you see the light like at the end of the tunnel really really far, but still you keep going, because I have made in or amongst all the challenges that I face in my life, I feel the stories that I resonate with, those are the anchors in my life. So there might be storm, I can you know go like the pendulum from this side to this side, but then the anchor is there, because the story talks about who I am, what I want to be in my life. So whenever there is a shift, I'll shift. But again, I know I have to gradually come back to my anchor. So amongst all challenges, I would say that and it's not a lot of stories, but there are few where I find Priyanka Chatterjee as the protagonist. So that really helps me, to be grounded and to come back to that same vertical.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing. Thank you so much. Ma'am, would you like to suggest any book that could help us in our life? Any self-help book, or maybe some book connected to stories, or any book which you feel was, yeah, it is a good one?
Yes, sure. So when I studied in the International School of Storytelling, Emerson College, UK, I got fabulous teachers, fabulous mentors who not only helped me to look at storytelling as a performative, entertaining journey, but storytelling as a healing, as a cathartic, as a exploratory, as a transformative tool. So amongst them, other than Roy or Karmit, two other mentors wrote a fabulous book called The Storyteller's Journey. It's by Sue and it's by Ashley Ramsden. They are, beautiful storytellers, and they have, it's more uh, like we get cookbooks, right? Over there, the recipes given. So this amount of rice, this amount of lentil, this amount of water, you get the perfect khichdi. Like that, they have really broken down the storytelling journey. This much ingredient, for this audience, this much emotion. For the children, emotion can be bigger. And how about the voice modulation? What about your body language? What story to choose? How to tell those stories? So, even though in person training, the books can never replace them. I would suggest everyone to go for in person experiential journey with mentors. But since you have asked me a book, this book can, I think, to be closest to the experiential journey.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing. Thank you for sharing all of that. How would you want to be remembered in this world? And why should people remember Golpodidi?
Yeah. Thank you for this lovely question, because I often in my workshop do an activity called, I'm sorry, the tombstone activity. And the Hindus don't have tombstone, but we all know that what is a tombstone. In the Islamic world, in the Christian world, many people get the tombstones, and even though we personally don't get it, we know what it is. That on the tombstone it will be written, "Here lieth Priyanka Chatterjee, Golpodidi, so and so date to so and so date, and she left behind these many family members, and she will be remembered for this." So I often ask the participants in my workshop that what will be written on your tombstone? What is the legacy that you want to leave behind? And I have often seen people cry, to be in tears, because that is the moment, perhaps, we all start to realize, okay, so there we won't be there, but there is something that we want to leave behind, but there is nothing that we actually left behind except for maybe some money, or maybe two mobile phones that will be oblivious, be redundant after 2 3 years, maybe one house, one car, but what other than that? So when I personally did my tombstone journey, what inspired me to be Golpodidi is, even though I won't be there, I already know, and in my future journey I hope I can do more. But I know for sure I have touched lives through stories. I have transformed lives through stories. So even if it is only one person, it's not one person, that's one another thing. But even if it's one person, and that person's transformation has happened through storytelling, from darkness to light, as we say, tamasoma jyotirgamaya. If I was instrumental, if my story could bring light in that person's life, I will be remembered. no matter whether it's written on my tombstone or not. I'll be remembered as Golpodidi through my stories. That will be my legacy.
Perfect, perfect, ma'am. That's really nice. And hats off to that beautiful way with what passion you've explained all of that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, dear. Thank you so much, dear. Dear ma'am, what about movies? Do you love movies? And if yes, which is your favorite one?
Yes, of course. I love movies, and in fact, to share with you, uh, before becoming an engineer, in my past life, as I call it my past life, I wanted to be a film director. Because my mother, when I was in standard 8 or 9, she used to take me to Kolkata International Film Festival, KIFF, uh, because Kolkata happens to be the cultural hub in India. And now it has shifted to Delhi and Kochi, but there used to be time when the films and the theater and music, dance, everything would be celebrated with lot of pomp, lot of gaiety. So that inspired me somewhere to become a film director, because it's not only films from India, but it was world movies, and not only classics, but also, the latest movies on that year, that has been released on in that particular year will be showcased. And most of the times, let me tell you, I was in standard 8 and 9. Most of the times it will be adult movies. There will be written A, but still my mother was liberal and she would take me there. And I still remember me watching two women, two women, one getting raped and violated, and set in the times of recession, in the times of war, that shows the ugly side of humanity and the beautiful side of humanity as well, that in spite of such ugliness, people are trying to help each other, people are trying to stay beside each other. So I think what gets imprinted in our mind in childhood, it's very hard to erase them. So my watching world classics in those early years, and especially Iranian movies, had lot of impact. Um, so those are the movies I would love to go back to. And now, if you talk about now, hardly watch movies by going to hall, but pandemic and OTT has been a real blessing. So the latest that I'm watching is a Bengali web series called Choto Lok, where one of my acting mentor, Damini Benu Basu, she's acting, and I would ask everyone to watch that just for acting lessons, because how a very simple woman character can be transformed into a ravishing police officer. It's again a transformative journey. So yeah, so I'm sorry that I cannot name Salman and Shah Rukh and Amir, even though I love watching them, but my choice in films has always been little of it.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing all of that. Thank you so much. Dear, now let's talk about holidays. Have you been able to take off some time and jet off to a beautiful place on a vacation? And if yes, which was that place? And if no, where would you love to go on a vacation?
Lovely question, because I'm always on vacation, and people sometimes term me that I live out of the suitcase, because my policy is that, because as you have read my profile, it mentions international story consultant. So I travel internationally taking my invisible story bag with me. Uh, and I am going to be 40 this May. And one of the goal was to travel 40 countries by 40. And the goal has been achieved. So talking about these countries, whenever I go, I try to avoid going only on vacation. But there's work, and after work there will be vacation. So whatever I earn through this assignments, international assignments, I make sure that I spend a lion's share of that in the vacation that I undertake um after the work. And the last place where I went, I just came back yesterday, because of which we undertook this one, as I said, 3rd December. I came back yesterday from Indonesia after a 3-week work plus 5 days vacation, and
Wow.
it was massive. Yeah.
I really love the way you are enjoying life, ma'am. The way you said, like, I have a goal, 40 countries, and I've achieved that feat. That's beautiful. And hats off to you. In fact, all of us should live our lives like this. Enjoy every single moment. And yes, dear, I really love the way you put that. Spend the lion's share, enjoy the vacation, and then come back. Yes, you put it so well. Yes, and thankfully you arrived and that I got to,
Yeah.
interview you today, spend time with you on the Fab Talks. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Dear ma'am, what is it that you love about yourself? This is Priyanka Golpodidi. This is my inner core quality, my USP. I love myself.
Yeah. Most of the times the problem is that whenever so one of the exercises that we do in our workshop, whenever we ask moments uh, from childhood or moments from life of the participants, they will be going back to mostly, negative moments, when people cried, when they were disappointed, when they were embarrassed. Simultaneously, they will go back to happy memories. But if you look at, child's birth or getting married or getting a promotion, the percentage share between the negative journeys and the positive moments will always be like this. And this is a proven truth. This is not only about me. So when you asked me that question, I was like taken aback. Okay, what do I like about me? Because whenever it comes to sharing something positive, we all go, many of us go inside a cocoon. Oh, is there really something nice about me? Uh, because many of us suffer from something called imposter syndrome, if you have heard of it. And for me, because perhaps it happens more to people who have achieved a lot in a little time, we keep asking question that, okay, I have achieved that much, but do I really deserve? Uh, am I the right one standing on the pedestal? What have I done to be here? So while that is the negative aspect of it, that I also suffer from imposter syndrome, and whenever something goes little tumultuous, I go thinking, yes, that's what you deserve, Priyanka Chatterjee. You have not done anything to be there, to be so much appreciated by people. What have you done to travel to 40 countries by the age 40? No, you shouldn't be there. So the negative is there. But at the same time, I must appreciate that actually this is my own thought process, this is my own demon. The positive is there because of which I have achieved this. The imposter syndrome comes because I am there on a pedestal, certain pedestal, because I have achieved something. So once you asked me that question and I went inside the cocoon, that is there really something good about me? Yes, there is. All that I have achieved, the gold medal that my father was so proud of. And then one day I jokingly said, I am running out of money. Maybe I should sell my gold medal. And he was like, his jaws dropped. Never ever do that. Never ever. So when I asked myself, okay, what have you done to earn that gold medal? How many hours did you study? At the same time, the truth is, I have achieved the gold medal. So always, there will be, okay, I have, uh, I am a storyteller invited to this particular international festival. What have you done to do this? But the fact is, I have been invited to the international festival as an international storyteller. So there are, while I keep asking those questions, there is a plethora of things I can go back to in these moments of being tumultuous. Because, yes, I have achieved something good.
Beautiful, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing that so well. You shared that with lots of clarity. Thank you, dear. Dear ma'am, what if you win a lottery, a big jackpot? How are you going to use it?
If I was standing in the, Miss World competition, then, and this is the final round, and I would be asked that question, I would say, I'm going to go to all the developing countries in the world and I'm going to spend this money for the little children. But I'm not standing there, so I don't have to lie.
Mm.
Yes, there would be a portion that because I work, uh, as I have spoken about the social impact organization. I dream of changing the world. I dream of a world that one day will be borderless, that one day will not suffer from hatred because of race, because of religion, because of gender, because of different kinds of bodies, because of xenophobia. One day people will be same somewhere, which we are not realizing today, because there are still, as we are speaking, there are wars going on in two parts of the world, Russia and Ukraine, and Israel and Palestine. And there are secret wars happening at places that media doesn't talk about, but the countries have posted their soldiers on the lines of control. But one day I dream, may not be in my lifetime, that the world will be borderless, because we never imagined that the world will be a global village. There will be globalization. We all thought before 1991, before the Berlin Wall where was brought down, we all thought we are stuck in our own countries. But that dream got achieved. So I also dream that one day there won't be any visa, won't be any passport, and the next generation will be true future generation who are, global citizens. So one part of that lottery will surely go towards that work. But I'm not on the Miss India pedestal, so not the 100%, but maybe 50% will go towards that, and rest 50 I want to keep it for my pension, because I am a self-employed person, solopreneur, and right now my work is supporting me to travel the world. People are inviting me, and I don't have to spend from my pocket, but there will be a time I'm not a government employee, and even the government employees are not getting pension anymore. They're getting NPS. And I hail from a country which doesn't have social security like US, which doesn't have NPS like UK. So I have to, NHS like UK. So I have to look after myself if I am, you know, in the senior citizen time when I'm not able to support myself. So 50% for the people and 50% for me.
How sweet. I really love the way you put that, ma'am. Global citizens, where there are no restrictions, no boundaries, we can go freely and move across the world, because the world is ours, the universe is ours for everyone. So, no race, no religion, no gender bias, no bias at all. Feel free to move. And I love the way you put it. And you're very positive about the future, that the future generations may definitely uplift the world to a better place with no war and no geographical boundaries that stop people from moving here and there and getting to know people, bonding and celebrating love, as love is the universal language. Humanity is the greatest religion. Yes, dear. And I love the way you said, I want 50% for me. And yes, that's very honest and so sweet. Very true. Dear ma'am, how would you differentiate smart work and hard work?
So smart work, for me, I still remember when I used to work in corporate world, there would be colleagues who are coming to the office at 2 o'clock and leaving at 6 p.m., saying that they are smart employees, they do smart work, they are, they have high level of IQ, and they can do the same thing in 4 hours. But at the same time, there will be people who come to office at 9 o'clock, leaving at 6 p.m., and putting in all the sweat and blood all through this 9 hours. But they might be completing the work by 7 hours, not 9 hours. 2 hours they're sitting idle because that's the office time. So while smart work is nice, it's not okay not to abide by the rules, and not just saying, I will be in office because I am for 4 hours because I am a smart worker, and you slog there for 9 hours because you are just a hard worker. So while smartness can achieve many things, I don't think there is any replacement of hard work. Uh, it should be a combination of both. And no way we abuse the company policies or organizational policies telling that I'm a smart worker. I take the world by my own rules. No, that doesn't work.
Yes, dear. When you were in school and college, like, did you ever take part in any of the sports and games?
Okay. The first part, I got so excited because I thought you were asking about, okay, did you take part in any co-curricular activities, any drama or anything like that? Because art and culture really excites me. But the balloon that was blown by the first part of your question, that bursted when you said sports and games. Because I didn't. I hardly took part in any sports or games. And I still remember when I was learning swimming, you know, I just learned, and I got that, the swimmer badge that lets you go without the red cap. So I was like, I have won the world. Now I can do, I can be this pro swimmer, which I was not. And then there was a competition, which is a relay competition, a relay sports, swimming competition. And I was the last one. So my team was winning. And when the third one has come back, the third person in the relay, and has handed me over the relay, the other groups, the second person is still swimming. Forget the third person, forget the fourth person, who is me. So I was totally ahead of time. And then I jumped in the water. I swam very nicely till the, half of the pool. After crossing half of the pool, something started happening. There were lots of ripples in the middle of the pool, but the body was not moving ahead, which is me. And the third person in the other groups, they were handed over the relay. They jumped, they crossed, they handed over to their fourth person, and their fourth person is coming. So they have already almost about to catch me. And my team from the other side said, Priyanka, come, please. You will make us lose. Come, come, come. And I tried, but I saw I'm not able to move. Something, something is happening. I have lost all my stamina, all my energy. I am thinking I'm swimming, but I'm not. And when I reached, already another group who were left so far behind because of the tenacity and the stamina of my team members, they won because I lost. So that was one of the memories whenever I think of sports and games. And I refrain from taking part in group games because that will be a sabotage to the group that I'm being part of. But that doesn't mean I don't take part in team activities. I love being part of drama and debate and other places where there are a lot of social interaction. But please, no sports, no games. I only love them when I'm not in the competitive space, when there will be other people who are losing because of me. I feel responsible and feel guilty in that situation.
How sweet. That's so nice to share and be very honest on that. So, I can see the sweetness, the cuteness, the innocence with which you shared all of that. That's really nice. Let's come to cricket, ma'am. How did you feel when India lost the match?
Hmm. Okay, so I didn't feel anything. I personally, I felt bad for the India team that they were judged so much because they lost. You know, when I was speaking about,
Yes, dear.
so I didn't feel anything personally that India has lost, because I feel, in sports, if we keep continuously winning, it doesn't make any sense, right? But at the same time, I felt so bad for the India team because of the memes and the trolls and the continuous bashing that they received from common people. And I question, do they really deserve that? And you remember I was speaking about that negative moments and the positive moments. Suddenly, in spite of winning 10 matches in a row, suddenly that one match, because it's the final, these 10 matches vanish in front of the human eyes, in front of the fans. They suddenly make this one loss so big, which is not done. So I felt bad that, as I felt ashamed of our Indian audience, those who were there in the stadium today, because they continuously kept shouting for India without feeling that there is another uh, country that is participating in that game who doesn't have any support, and which is not done. So I think the people in the stadium as well as the people on the social media, we need to be little more civilized and little more inclusive in terms of thinking not only about our win, but how can we be more human and little more tolerant. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. You have beautiful thoughts, dear. Yeah.
Little different, I know, not always popular, but I like to spark questions and thoughts, and that's what is the jobs of storyteller, I feel, because uh, in many cultures, storytellers were considered to be the pioneers, to be the thought leaders. So not always we have to, adhere to the popular thoughts, but our job is to spark and ignite questions.
Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you for sharing, dear. Thank you so much. Dear ma'am, are there your best friends standing with you through thick and thin? One or many? And if yes, you have one or maybe many as well, right from school days till date, if you have a few of your friends, would you like to mention their names today with us on this platform?
Yeah, my friends, I would say that as I said already, and thank you for connecting this question, that as storytellers, we start asking questions. And moment you start asking questions, you really go deep into the psychological process of human thinking. And you start standing for one particular ideology. So my friends, I won't say that there is one best friend that has stayed since the nursery days. There were quite a few, but at the same time I have to accept that out of those few, I have also lost a few because of ideological differences, not because of normal quarrel, not because you did this, you did that. No, because of ideological conflict. I feel the people who were growing like this, when they become divergent in terms of ideology and philosophy, suppose I am for humanity, I am beyond race, beyond religion, beyond gender divide, and the other person is talking about that other religion is shit. That moment immediately you cannot be friends. So I have to be honest, that I personally chose not to continue such kind of friendship, because humanity comes first for me.
Perfect, perfect. I could resonate with you a lot on this, a lot. And I've been doing that. Crossing this, yes.
Yeah.
Humanity is the biggest religion, and we are all global citizens, and that's done with that. We're not taking anything with us. We've come with nothing. We are going with nothing. Yes, dear. It's only the respect, human dignity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, dear ma'am. What is the change that you would want to bring into this world? Which area?
The change, the transformation that I want to see, that till date, storytellers are considered to be performers. They're considered to be entertainers. If you have seen the Ranveer Kapoor movie called Tamasha. He also wanted to be a storyteller, but he was stuck in the body of a salesperson and was being depressed. But then finally there was a shift and he understood his true calling and he became a storyteller. But at the same time, by storyteller, it meant an entertainer. So till now, when I talk to people, oh, you are a storyteller. Huh. So you must be telling stories to children, right? No, I tell stories to children, but I tell stories to the adults as well. Oh, you tell stories to children as well as adults. Okay, Priyanka, what else do you do? Like, what is your main profession? I tell stories for living. Okay, and you mean to say you live well, like you can support yourself? Yes, I do. So, this conversation, I want a change in this conversation. That how storytelling is looked. Storytelling is the oldest art form, because if you see that this has been the language of living. The um the our uh, the cavemen, our ancestors, if they didn't tell stories in their non-verbal language, like they didn't have any language, but they expressed through their bodies, that don't go in that direction, because in that direction there is this huge elephant, which is wild elephant, who is on the loose. So don't go there, you might be in danger. Or don't go in this side, because there is the dangerous berries that looks lucrative, but if you eat them you die. They started doing this after each days of hunting and gathering. When they came back in front of the cave, they sat on the fireside and they shared. So storytelling is not something that is done today. We are alive means we had ancestors who were great storytellers and who were great story listeners. I want storytelling to be taken in the modern society more seriously, not as stories told to only children, not as stories told during the bedtime, not as the grandma's bag of stories. Yes, all that is good and nice, but we are doing so much in the corporate space. The corporate mission, vision, values is also nothing but stories. We are doing so much in the conflict management, the team building, the sales, the leadership space, because all the time we are telling stories. And we are doing so much in the psychological, the community, the therapeutic space, because the conflict is actually the story that we tell to other people and the story that we have inside us. So I want this transformation, this change in the perspective that people, the lens that people look at storytelling through, a little more serious, a little more beyond the performance, a little more beyond entertainment, because storytelling goes a lot more deeper.
Thank you, dear ma'am. Thank you for sharing all of that. You've done real great justice today and shared so much with lots of passion and lots of real life examples. You've really touched our hearts and inspired everyone so much that, yes, you should also speak up and stand up for yourself and follow your passion. Let your passion become, they say, transforming your passion into earning. And then somebody has questioned you, like, you're a storyteller, and is the earning sufficient for you? And you said, yes,
Yeah,
it is. And
that
that
passion into profession.
yes, passion
Mm.
into profession. So it's a beautiful journey, ma'am. We really love you for who you are. And we love to have you on many more international Fab Talk sessions. And I'm sure you
Thank
will give
you.
us your time, dear.
Sure, sure. Looking
Yes,
forward to next session.
yes.
Thank you
Dear
so
friends,
much.
yes, dear ma'am. Dear friends, we really had a wonderful time. And there's a lot more to share and to learn from our special celebrity today. She is Ms.Priyanka Chatterjee, Golpodidi, if I'm getting that right. Our
That's right.
Golpodidi, yes. Our Golpodidi promises to be again with us. We'll have this session as part 1 and we'll have part 2 and part 3. We will have ma'am with us because there is a lot to learn. And we all should be great storytellers. As ma'am mentioned, it is not something that has emerged now. It has been emerging since the ancient times. Am I right, dear? Yes, dear.
Absolutely.
Yes, and we really love the way you shared everything. It was just authentic. What you shared was really deep from here, from your heart. And we love the way you presented it, ma'am. Thank you so much. Looking forward for many more interactions with you. And very soon we'll be connected with our special celebrity, my dear friends. Stay tuned. Love you all and stay connected. Thank you, dear friends.
Thank you so much. Good night and namaste.
Thank you, dear. Same to you, dear.